to have you guys with us.
Yo.
My name's Todd Wofford. Got Taylor Owens.
Yo.
Sean Jordan.
Yo.
Travis Budd.
Yo.
And I want to see where we are with the whole voice of Mario thing.
Charles Martinet in this movie, The Game, played Nicholas's father.
Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because initially, I think due to the screen being cropped off, Travis just told us that the voice of Mario plays Nicholas's fat.
Yes.
So
I was hoping it was either Nicholas's father or Nicholas's fat friend.
and which would look great in a script. Nicholas's fat friend. So anyway, we are going to wind up our series looking at movies that we wanted to cover, but we were never able to fit them into a certain category. So this is Taylor's pick, The Game.
Yeah.
And I remember we've all wanted to talk about this movie.
This has been on my list. I think when we did a random hat draw.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Last year series, I think we both put in The Game and it didn't get picked.
I think, and there was one of those I put it in for one of them. So it's like, I wanted to watch this for a while. And I remember when that happened, my wife and I watched it anyway.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think same.
We need to clock that in.
Yeah.
So, Travis, had you seen this before?
I had never seen this.
Okay. So I'm really old.
You had the best viewing experience.
Yeah.
The first watch is the best.
Yeah. And
First cut is the deepest.
Man, you beat me to that.
I know your body.
I've been waiting for a Cat Stevens quote, work that in for a while. So I'd even settle for a Sheryl Crow quote, but whatever. So we are drinking Heirloom Rustic Ales IPA.
This is goddamn delicious.
This is the Miles from Nowhere IPA. It is pretty good. It's
Miles from Nowhere.
So yeah, it's easy drinking. I mean, it's like,
it's good.
Cat Stevens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tay, how would you describe this?
Hoppy,
Juicy.
but not overly, but not heavy on the bitter hops. When you get an IPA, you usually think it's like, oh, it's going to be a super bitter, drink. This is,
It's like a dry hop.
it's fruitier.
It doesn't finish real bitter.
No, it's more of a fruity hop, citrus
Yeah, like
hop.
unfined, unfiltered, unpasteurized.
Exactly what the can would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Untethered,
Yeah, what is unfined?
No,
I read it as undefined at first, but it's unfined.
there's fining agents. You can put chemicals in there to clean the beer out.
You know how you refine something? This is unfining.
Ooh.
Or define.
Mm-hmm.
No, defining is different.
Yeah, real nice. I mean, easy drinking again, like we said, for an IPA. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm an IPA guy anyway. I like a big, bold, like you say, kind of fat and juicy IPA.
I used to not be. I used to really be resistant to IPAs, and then I found what I liked, and this is it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pleasant.
This
It's
is
not
the
like
kind of IPA I like to drink.
biting off a pine tree.
Yeah.
Right.
For our earlier episode, we drank a vodka cocktail. This is a good follow-up to that. I think it's something a little smoother, a little softer. So,
Big body too.
yeah. Yeah, it's curvaceous.
Just
Voluptuous.
full.
Just big old titties.
So,
That's on the can too.
yeah.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, it's like, what do you know?
Yeah. So we're going to look at The Game. This debuted September 12th, 1997. That was coming up on 27 years ago.
I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah. And I was just entering my early 40s. So, this grossed $110 million against a $70 million budget. Big budget.
Wait, say that one more time. $110 million against a $70 million budget, so it barely turned a profit.
It had an enormous budget, obviously because of the main two people in it, but also because of where it was filmed. They insist. David Fincher insisted on filming in San Francisco, which is
it was San Francisco.
one of the most expensive places in the world to shoot. So I think they've since come down with tax incentives and stuff, but it's a very, very expensive place to put a production. So yeah, that swelled the budget up a lot to have authentic San Francisco locations. They had talked about doing it in, I believe, Los Angeles and Seattle, but
Honestly, there's no major shoots that there aren't any shots where you're like, oh, whoa,
Right.
San Francisco.
Right.
yeah.
There's a few that you're like, okay, yeah, there's like hills and he's in San Francisco, but
And there's a chase scene in there, but it doesn't have that typical bullet
Bullet is like the San Francisco car chase scene.
Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't have that real flavor to it. It's weird that David Fincher was so insistent to make it San Francisco, because San Francisco is one of those distinctive cities that really is. It makes a movie unique to have it.
Fincher does things because Fincher wants to do things.
Yeah, yeah. He's his own. He marches to his own beat.
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's my next note. Directed by acclaimed filmmaker David Fincher, who directed Seven, directed Zodiac, Social Network, produced the series Mindhunter.
Did you do Fight Club?
He did Fight Club.
Okay.
So quite the resume of movies. And also before that, he was an acclaimed music video director. He did
Beastie Boys.
I don't know if he
Michael Jackson.
He did Madonna. He did Billy Idol's Cradle of Love. He did quite a few. He did the Rolling Stones video, Love is Strong. He did a lot of like famous music videos that if you go back now, they're widely known. So it stars Michael Douglas, Sean Penn, Deborah Kara Unger, and the late great character actor James Rebhorn, who was also in the recent movie we watched, Independence Day. Always plays a sleazeball to some degree in everything he is in.
He passed away?
He's passed away quite a while ago.
Are we sure? Because you were wrong about somebody else.
This one I'm sure of.
Okay.
Who is this?
I'm going to go ahead and look.
So his name is James Rebhorn. He plays in this guy, the guy who basically is
The actor.
the guy who brings Michael Douglas into the game, like that silver haired guy.
Oh, the guy
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
office who like basically does all the paperwork.
He died in
I love this
2014.
guy.
Yeah.
Dave, he did die?
He's been in so many movies.
Yeah.
Damn,
I know it's weird. Todd was right.
wow.
He always plays
Broken
like
clock is right twice.
exactly. But he shows up in like Son of a Woman, he was at Independence Day. He always kind of plays that kind of little bit of a sleazeball. He plays like a really good, like kind of minor villain who's just kind of a dick. It's kind of like the guy that played Walter Peck in Ghostbusters.
Was he like one of the president's men in Independence Day? Or is he like the
He was like,
the
"That's
FBI
not
director or something?
entirely
That's
accurate.
not entirely accurate.
And that was just such a great way he's a great person to put in that role of like that bureaucrat.
Just like slightly sleazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So great actor. I've always enjoyed it when he pops up in a movie.
I'd tongue kiss him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah. I'm going to guess he probably tasted like cigarettes.
Okay.
So my notes have that this has elements of Christmas Carol, It's a Wonderful Life, a little bit of Matrix, a little bit of a Next Generation holodeck,
Total Recall.
a little bit. I mean, it's all that kind of
It was a
mindset.
dark Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Wait, name your other.
I mean, Christmas Carol, It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, that kind of stuff where it's like showing a guy like, what life would be without him or like,
The errors of
What were your other ones? Did you say?
a little bit of Matrix, which wasn't out yet. Again, it's like that. Nothing is what it seems. But also like a Next Generation holodeck kind of a thing, where it's like, it's a simulation. It's like actors, we're using blanks. Everything's like not real,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was saying Total Recall and Christmas Story, but or not Christmas Story, Christmas Carol. But
That's
one
a mashup that I want to see.
Yeah.
But another one I thought of that I was like, well, no, that's not quite right. I didn't think about it, David Fincher being the director, but I thought of Seven a little bit when the guy walks in and he was like, you did, sir, you were here. And because they did that a little bit, but more than that was, oh God, I just lost it. Oh, Dark City. A little bit where they
I thought
couldn't
that too.
tell if anything was real.
Yeah. And everything is kind of being maneuvered around the main character.
there's a dark force that you don't see that's manipulating things behind the
Yeah.
scene.
I was like, man, if this whole thing is a ayahuasca trip, I'm going to be pissed. If this whole thing is a dream.
Yeah.
Well, you have that Fight Club element of it too, where it's like that David Fincher, like stuff is happening that he's being told that he was involved with, that he's not involved with. And there's like a secret unseen force that's doing stuff behind your back that has intimate knowledge of yourself. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Or I also thought it would have been a little bit, this is kind of with Christmas Carol, but the Ambrose Bierce short story, The Occurrence of Owl Creek Bridge, where the guy thinks he's about to get hung, and then he thinks he escapes and goes and does all this and finally away, and then all of a sudden the rope snaps and he had that entire story happened as he was falling.
Yeah.
Or like in Wild Wild West when they realize they have magnetic collars on and there's these giant flying razor blades that are going to behead them.
And giant mechanical spider in the third act.
Yes.
That movie can roast in hell.
Actually, we really need to watch it.
Actually, I kind of do.
I had thought of doing a series of like summer blockbuster bombs.
Yeah, we're doing
I
90s
just
films, right?
Well, I just saw one. What Johnny Depp was it? Geronimo? Was it what was it?
Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger. Wasn't that like,
yeah.
isn't that still like one of the biggest
Yeah.
busts?
Like $250 million budget.
Yeah.
It's up there with like
But that was in the 2010s.
That
was
was
it?
like
Oh,
shortly after the
John
Pirates
Carter
of
of
Mars.
Mars. Yeah.
John Carter of Mars gets a
Not
bad
a bad
rap.
movie.
It is
Not a
not
bad movie.
bad. If the CEO of Disney would have just hung on another 6 months, he would have gotten Avengers, and he would have been like, "Oh, suck it, bitches." Instead, he had to step down.
You know it's bad when it like forces the CEO of Disney out.
that is, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about unseen forces playing behind the scenes.
Yeah. Dark forces.
Yeah.
So Michael Douglas plays Nick Van Orton, who's an uber wealthy corporate raider who basically has, I would say, a Grinch heart. You know, he is the Grinch, you know, coal black.
He's more of a Scrooge.
Oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah. He's not overtly like villainous like the Grinch, but he's more just like a cranky, like
He's a rich investment banker who, you know, sits in an ivory tower and had a big office.
Mhm.
I don't like that secretary.
He's become very cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sean Penn plays his younger. I like to work this word, ne'er-do-well. It's my favorite words. Brother, Conrad. For Nick's birthday, Conrad gets him a go around in the game, which is a mysterious, ominous, real life experience up into the person's life. Reality and fantasy blend together, leading Nick to question what's real and what's not, and whether or not this is actually a mind-bending game or a genuine threat to his life and livelihood. So, Travis, because you've never seen this before, I want to hear your opinions of it first.
So jealous of you.
So Michael Douglas really just kind of makes the same kind of films over and over.
Yes.
It's just like weird, seedy. I was surprised there wasn't like gratuitous nudity and a sex scene
Mm-hmm.
because my homegirl, I saw her in this, Deborah Kara Unger. I first saw her in a little film. I know we've all seen it. Highlander 5, The Final Dimension, with Mario Van Peebles.
Did you say Dimension?
Yeah, that's why I went with the accent.
Dimension.
Dimension with Mario Van
I
Peebles.
think he's in Congress right now.
And she was
Mario
naked like
Dimension?
no, she was naked like crazy in Highlander, and there was lots of gratuitous sex, and I was like, "This is the greatest blockbuster rent ever." So I saw her in this, and I'm like, "Man, I know she's done hardly anything else. I've never seen her in anything else. Like, she's going to get naked." So I spent the whole time watching this movie, being like, "I'm supposed to be like focusing on this for a podcast," and I'm just like, "When is she going to get naked?" Like, I know it's going to happen. I'm a terrible person, but that's what I was thinking the whole time.
Yeah.
The movie was good. I was like, how deep down this rabbit hole are they going to go? Like, what kind of, like, how endangering of other people's lives are they going to go, like, screeching on, like, car chases, random, like, I kept thinking that the car was going to get T-boned out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many scenes where it shoots like that sideways view of him driving. And it's like he's like not paying attention to the road or something, and you just think there's going to be a car hitting him sideways.
Is it falling down where he gets upset about a cheeseburger?
Yeah.
I always get that in Dog Day Afternoon, which I haven't seen either one of those, but where he just goes ape shit and, goes, but it seems like every Michael Douglas movie ever, other than like Romancing the Stone and the sequel, is all like, and besides cashing a paycheck, it's just him being like, all right, we're going to make the seedy guy. He's in a seedy city. He has seedy sex with seedy women. A lot of seed.
A lot of seed.
A lot of hot, frothy ejaculate spread all around. That's the kind of, and with a Jack Daniels chaser. That seems to be every Michael Douglas movie.
Well, and the one thing that I was thinking of was
hot, frothy ejaculate.
Yeah. What the hell is hot, frothy ejaculate? How do those words come together?
Clearly, you've never seen Anchorman 2 bloopers.
I've never seen Anchorman 2, let alone.
Neither have I, but I've seen the bloopers.
I've lost my train of thought because of that. So this is a lot like. There was an element of like The Sting. I don't know if you guys have seen The Sting with Robert Redford, Paul Newman, where it's like it's a big con game.
I never finished.
And so, but we need to watch that sometime. But I mean, it's a big con game that they're pulling on this big rich dude. And it's kind of similar to where they kind of create an alternate reality around this guy where he thinks he's in a casino, but it's actually this big elaborate thing that they've set up with horse races and roulette wheels. It's all fake. And so it's like that, where it's like a lot of stuff has to go right around this guy. If one thing doesn't go right, then it's all, the jig is up.
Yeah.
That's kind of how this is, where it's like all it takes is one T-bone or whatever, and now the whole thing's falling apart, you know?
Yeah. How does this ne'er-do-well brother afford this? He's like, hey, I'm going to get all these people together that can fill up an entire fucking cafeteria.
Well, we don't know how much it costs.
Yeah. And he,
but we don't know.
split it. Spoiler.
But we
was
don't,
like, he split at the end.
but immediately Michael Douglas is talking to him. Was like, okay, you're in town. What do you want? He probably wants money. Like, we figure that this dude's down on his luck, but then he's all like, it's like, yeah, you want to split this? Yeah, look at the tab. I'm like, oh dear.
Yeah.
So I guess they both have a lot of inheritance.
Yeah, I was
That's what I was
they
coming down.
both have inheritance. Yeah.
But I thought the brother was a ne'er-do-well.
Yeah.
And blown it all.
Yeah.
But no, it was totally off the wall. I was like, anytime now he's going to wake up and it's going to be a dream or something. I was like, they better fucking explain this. And if they go to the very end of the movie and he thinks it was all something crazy, and then somebody's like says one thing at the end, he goes, oh my God, am I still in the game? And then looks at the camera. I was like, I'm going to be very upset.
They're going to pull a Kaiser Soze.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did they know he was going to jump off of that portion of the building? Just a lot of stuff where I'm just like, all right, this is.
You have to suspend disbelief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of suspension and not a lot of titties. So I'm going to give this a 6.5.
For that reason,
It could have gotten a 7.
Yeah, with titties. What
With titties,
what would you give it with titties?
A 7.
10 easy.
Man,
It would have gone an extra 0.5. I'm glad I watched it once. I don't know if I'll need to watch it again.
That's what I was going to say. It was like,
Rewatching it loses its magic.
Yeah, it's like the first time I watched it. I watched it so young. I like had that suspense. I was like, "What the fuck is this movie?"
Yeah.
I was like, "This is crazy." And then even in the end, 'cause I saw it in theater. My mom took me. That's how cool I was in high school. Mom took me. Yeah, I think she went to go see it. She drug me along, but I was like, that is a cool fucking movie. And I thought the ending was great because it was like the whole time you're like. And especially as young as I was, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I didn't get it, but I loved the cinematography of it. I love the video.
The atmosphere.
The atmosphere, like the color change, just like each scene. It was like, I don't know.
The color change? I did like the origin, like
the shading. It was like,
The mise en scène.
The stuff going on in the past was all like shaky cam, like with the screwed up video. Like I like that aspect.
Yeah,
and I'm just sitting there.
The Super 8 footage.
I love the editing. I thought the acting was good. But you're right. It's like they're watching it the second time. I don't know how many times I've seen it. Like I used to watch it. That used to be on TV quite a bit.
Yeah.
For some reason, I can't remember what
Game used to be on TV.
It was, and I would just be like, done. And even though I knew how it ended, I think it was like I was going back to that nostalgia, be like, man, it makes more sense now when you watch it. Was it the scene where like the photos or whatever? I was like, oh, I should have fucking known that by now. I should have known that it was fake. But the whole time I'm like, what is this? So when I'm watching it again, you're like, you're picking everything.
Yeah.
But
yeah, those were all blanks that they were shooting with a machine gun that were causing the windows and the shooting through the car.
It's
and
really
everything.
well
You're
coordinated.
Movie magic, man.
Movie magic.
I knew as soon as they were like, "Oh my God, check your bank account; it's all gone." And she is looking over. I'm like, "One, you're giving it to him right now," and then she looked sideways at him. I'm like, "Oh, you motherfucker!" We're like, "Oh wait," they showed her twice, like looking over, being like, "We got him." So they show it to you once, and if you didn't get it the first time, you're like, "Oh."
Yeah.
Yeah. So you think you're in on it and then you're not, and then you're in on it and then you're not. I feel like my phone has ruined some movies for me because I'll be sitting there watching like, all right, let's check my Pornhub account and I'll see what that's up to. And then
are you looking for like a count update?
You know, it's not even social media for some people. It's just like, hey, it's just Pornhub. And it was
just seeing
like,
if Lita Gotti's got anything new out.
See what's going on in the old hub.
Yeah.
Let's see what these kids nowadays are on their TikTok and their Twitter. It's like
Whatnot.
Pornhub.
I was on my Twitter.
Yeah. So, and I remember back in the day when you did not have an iPhone. I can remember that far back where you did not have a cell phone.
Yeah.
And how things have changed.
Mighty have fallen.
iPhone 8 for life.
Man, I need an upgrade. I can't keep up with this porn at like 240p. I'm like, it's grainy.
At that point, it's a snuff film. You're watching
It's not a film.
Wow. I mean, it
Do you
reminds
have
me
your
of
own
when I was
URL that
young.
you have to go to, or
Do what?
do you have your own URL that you have to go to, or they keep that on the main page?
Yeah. No, I have to request desktop site.
You about lost that. I about request.
So, Sean, what do you think?
My app's not working.
I loved this movie. They have an app. I love this movie.
And by the way, I do give this film, because I didn't really give my full review, but but still, it's what I said was accurate.
Mm-hmm.
I would say when I first saw this movie, I would have given it a 10. I thought this movie just because like the way it just like brought me in. I love the filmmaking aspect of it. And I think even after I had seen Fight Club, I went back and watched it. I'm like, whoa, if this dude did Fight Club 7, I was like, and this? I'm like, damn. Went back, but he is a dick, right? From what I understand.
Fincher?
I think
he can be.
Yeah.
I've heard he's not.
Yeah. But it was like, but when I watched it, I was like, damn, he did the game, went back, watched it, and I was like, damn, this movie is so good. But I think every time I've watched it, it's like our 21 Grams podcast. Watch it, or listen to it. I think Sean had said, it's like, man, it was cool. It was hard to keep up with. And that's how I felt rewatching 21 Grams. I was like, man, this is tough.
I liked it better the second time.
Yeah. It's like,
I did too.
But see, I thought it was, I was like, yeah, I get it now. I was like, I still liked it, but I was like, yeah, this is a little more difficult because like that newness is worn off.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what happened to me with the game. This time I was like, I still loved it. I still get kind of freaked out when he goes into his house and the spray paint's everywhere. Like that's kind of freaky to me. I don't know why that, but I'd give it I think an 8.5. I give it 8.5. It would have been 10 in 97.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I was like blown away.
I did see the Fight Club and 7, like, fingerprints on this.
Yeah.
So I did think of, I thought of Fight Club while I was watching this, and I was like, I didn't, without even knowing the director with those, but yeah, I can see the fingerprints now of those on there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and like Fight Club, the story of Fight Club is what makes it such a good mind fuck. And that's written by Chuck Palahniuk, right? Like that book exists on its own, and it's a really good book. You should go out and read it. But the movie itself, is really well executed. He does a really good job of like layering in a lot of the subtle stuff that really comes in. And that's a movie you can go back and rewatch multiple times and you appreciate more stuff after the fact.
Yeah.
The game,
Pause it when the dick comes on screen.
Lose a lot of the magic as you watch it more and more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of mindfuck movies kind of fall in one of those two categories. Like Memento, you appreciate more and more details when you watch Memento, the more you watch it.
Yeah.
That's a movie we need a podcast on. But like as mindfuck movies go, this one is like, okay, the charm of it is kind of lost once you know what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, the first time I saw this movie, I was like, this is the best fucking movie I've ever seen. It was so good.
Yeah.
And then the second time I watched it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is a good movie. It's well directed. It's well like written. It's well shot. I love it. Third time you watch it, you're like, I don't know why I'm watching this the third time. I know what's going to happen. I know what this is about.
I still watch it.
You lose the suspense, but like it does such a good job of building that suspense throughout the movie that like the first time you watch it, it's such a magical experience. I as soon as I watched it the first time, I was like, this is going to be a movie that I like. This is up there. This was a 10 the first watch.
Yeah.
Second watch, it's like, okay, this is like an 8.
Yeah.
It's an 8 movie. It's good. Yeah.
It keeps you guessing the whole time.
Does.
You're like, is this real? Is this bullshit? Is this real?
You really
bullshit?
Find yourself asking, like, as the movie goes along, like, okay, I know what's happening. And then like 10 minutes later, you're like, all right, now I know what's happening. And then like 20 minutes later, you're like, now I know what's happening. By the end, you're like, I had no idea what was happening. Yeah, it messes with your mind and it makes you like question a lot of stuff. Cool office.
Yeah.
Like just like the black obsidian like tile and like the mirrors, and it was so 90s.
She was gonna go take a shower and I was like, well, this is about to get good. And then it didn't.
Were you just horny for this? Like when you were watching?
I swear to God, as soon as I saw her, I was like, Highlander, Final Dimension, Mario Van Peebles. It's like it's about to go down. Which
Final
we
Dimension.
should watch that.
Yeah.
Final Dimension.
And
Highlander 5.
if Mario Van Peebles ran for Congress, he'd have my vote.
Was she in Heroes? No.
Allie Larder.
Okay.
I think that's who you're thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Final rating, I'd give this an 8. I think it's a great movie. I really love it as like a movie that's out there as a David Fincher, like standalone mindfuck movie. It should be on every list of mindfucks.
Yeah.
You know, he has a really good track record. Like he has a good stretch in this movie, and then Fight Club comes out the next year.
Yeah.
And 7 comes out in 99. And, okay. So
before.
So 7 was first, and then The Game, and then Fight Club.
And so the first movie he directed was, and I remember being kind of amped for it because I remember they were like, yeah, he's a great music video director. So he directed Alien 3, directed the third Alien movie.
Oh, okay.
Which
yeah, that's right.
Terrible.
Oh, yeah. They have
Terrible Alien movie.
a director's cut version of that. Or there's like
Which I would like to see.
I haven't seen
The
it, but
director's cut makes it better.
I watched.
I have seen it. I think I own the Blu-ray that includes the director's cut.
I've been watching on YouTube the Media Nights do like movie reactions, and they were like, "Yeah, we've been told not to watch the third one, or that we can stop after 2. We watched the third one, but it was this director's cut, or it was the something different cut." And I was like, "Shit, I've never seen that."
Yeah.
So I would like to give that a gander.
Is the third one the one with oh God, what's his name? Ron.
Tater Salad White? Yeah.
No. I'm blanking. No, forget about it.
So to me, this is like, I remember like the Roger Ebert was talking about some movie, and he said, you watch it once for the questions, you watch it twice for the answers. It's like
Ron Perlman.
Oh, that's Resurrection. That's 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
which was also Doo-Doo Pie.
That's a Joss Whedon.
Very bad. Yep.
I kind of enjoyed it because she had weird, like, alien hybrid powers, but I get that it's not a quintessential, like, xenomorph horror movie.
It gets away from the, core tenets of the first 2.
And incidentally, we did, for you listeners and viewers out there, Twister last week. One thing we did not discuss is that Twister had multiple script doctors, one of whom was Joss Whedon.
Really?
Yeah. They brought in, I believe, Jeff Nathanson. They brought in multiple.
Is he the one that said, do you know what happens to a toad that's struck by lightning?
In X-Men? Yeah, that's Joss Whedon.
Or no, in Twister. And then he excised it from that and then put it in X-Men.
No, he's the one who said, if you're going to get struck by lightning, present your butthole.
Oh, you know what?
Get on your back and
1,000% a Joss Whedon line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grab your ankles. Yeah. But so anyway, return back to, we did not mention that, but yeah, the Twister script, supposedly in Hollywood, when a script doctor comes into a script and they contribute stuff to it, when those pages go in, they're a different color than what the original. So it'll be like red for this person, blue for whoever comes in next. So supposedly like the script for Spider-Man 2.
No, it's pink pages. Those are a dream sequence, Mo.
And so the more writers that come in and add and script do doctor work on it, the more colors you have. Supposedly like the script for Spider-Man 2, they said looked like a rainbow by the time they started shooting. There were so many. It was a great movie. There were so many writers on that didn't get credit, but I mean, it was just like just a rainbow of colors of different people. Twister was like that as well, where it's like you had many writers that came in. Supposedly The Game as well had multiple writers come in. I don't think Joss Whedon was one of them, but you had a lot of different. They brought in, I think his name Andrew Kevin Walker, the writer of both Fight Club and 7, did work on this without credit. But there were quite a few writers on this as well that came in and helped revise it. Because I guess in the original script, I think that Nicholas Van Orton was supposed to die. So, and like a blade that will.
Is it based on a book?
I don't believe so.
I don't know.
This was an original spec script that came around in the 90s.
Well, and that's why I kind of like the ending where the dude who's rest in peace, whatever it is, but I can't forget the actor's name, but he tells me, man, I'm so glad you jumped. I was supposed to push you. So like, to me, I was like, man, that means it is planned the entire time. Because they had like,
everything planned.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, that was kind of, and like you kind of chuckle at it when he says it and you're like, oh shit, man, that just means they had it planned the entire time. Like, that's kind of a cool line to put in there. And it's like,
well, it makes more sense if you have that many people all in on it for however long, a week or more, that they were going to steal all of his $600 million. You're like, that makes way more sense. If there's like so many moving pieces and they're like, look, all you have to do is this, or we're all actors and you get to do this. They're just blanks and whatever. For $600 million, bet your ass they'll do like a whole like Truman Show type bullshit around this dude.
Should we Truman Show Elon Musk?
Oh,
I'm not 100% sure what that means, but I'm down. A side note, that puts me right into a Die Hard quote of like, when you steal $600, you can just disappear, but when you steal $600 million, they will find you.
They will find you.
Yeah.
But I would give this 7.5. I would say.
Sure. Yeah.
And some of that is a nostalgia bump. I enjoyed it a lot seeing this as a kid. So,
yeah, it's probably a solid
I didn't see this,
but
as
I
a
feel
kid.
like
I saw this, I think, in college.
Yeah.
I feel like I give everything a 7 though. So I'm like, this didn't.
It's what we call a Travis Bud 7.
I was just looking like, I think I like Michael Douglas. I don't think I like a lot of the films that he does though. I think I liked American Presidents, and as a kid I liked the Romancing the Stone and Jewel of the Nile. Like that's what I knew him.
I like Traffic.
But maybe it's because
Traffic was good.
Yeah, he did Traffic, and then he did another one which I have not seen.
Disclosure. Do you guys see Disclosure?
Oh, I forgot about Disclosure.
I never saw Basic Instinct. Ghost in the Darkness.
You should see Basic Instinct.
Wonder Boys. I never saw.
I mean, if you want to see some nudity, go watch Basic Instinct.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's the right movie to watch.
A Wall Street, and then the sequel I never saw.
Man, so you're missing out some big Michael Douglas movies.
Yeah, you're missing like a lot of his work.
And you haven't seen with him and Matt Damon, one of the greatest films of all time,
Behind the Candelabra.
What?
Behind the Candelabra?
That's not Matt Damon. That's
I'm blanking out. We have to look this up now.
That's good.
I was gonna say Chris Pine, but we're wrong.
No,
I would watch that though.
Who plays Liberace in Behind the Candelabra?
Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
He's Liberace.
Yeah. So it wasn't Matt Damon?
Was it Matt Damon?
I think it was Matt Damon.
I thought it was. Hold on.
I'm in love with Matt Damon.
Yeah. Hey, he was a good actor in that one. And then Liberace.
Yeah, it was Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Behind the Candelabra.
Good for you. Good job.
I know my shit.
Yeah, sometimes.
But you don't know Michael Douglas movies.
You're like a broken clock.
I know my Liberace. He was a Batman villain in 1966. Fought Adam West and Burt Ward.
Liberace was?
I think so.
Which
I think he played like Music Man or something. Look, am I going to have to be right again? Continue.
Ron Perlman.
We're not arguing about Liberace.
Where were we? How did we get off on this subject?
Michael Douglas movie.
Pornhub? I don't know.
Well, we were talking about script doctors and Joss Whedon and whatnot, but supposedly how both The Game and Twister, which we covered.
We were talking that you were talking about Robert Schmeigel, Roger Ebert. First time you see it, second time you see it, and then why you gave it a 7.5,
7.5, yeah,
7.5.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I mean, yeah,
he was a villain in the Adam West Burt Ward.
He looks.
I know my shit.
He looks very happy.
Nobody was
being
doubting that he was on Batman.
So yeah, 7.5 for me. I enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it. Again, more for the fact that going back and seeing it through the lens of nostalgia.
Yeah,
I liked it. So yeah, there we go. So Trav, you were a
6.5.
6.5.
8.
Sean, you're 8.
I was 8.5. That was nostalgia bump on mine. So
I was 7.5. So I mean, we're kind of in that same area.
Well,
The red bra almost brought it to a 7.
within a standard deviation.
So this has been another episode of Cinema Vino. Heirloom Rustic Ales, Miles from Nowhere, Indian Pale Ale, 6.7% ABV. I didn't see the IBUs. I saw the ABV, but not the IBU.
Got
But
No, I don't think
I would guess probably 60s, maybe more in that range.
I love Heirlooms can art.
Mhm.
Can art is basic.
It's good art. That's one of the things that honestly brought me to it was it's a good looking.
Good art.
Yeah, it's a good looking can of beer.
You just like geese? Is that it?
I do. I'm a geese man.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, great movies. Only Drunker.
Oh, I think it was Highlander 3, The Sorcerer, also called The Final Dimension.
And by the way, you can't have a movie with a tagline of "There can be only one" and then have like 8 movies. that is false advertising.
Mario Van Peebles.
Sure enough.
Is that Christopher Lambert?
Look, it felt like Highlander 5, but it was Highlander 3.
Mario Van Peebles.
Coolest name.
Yeah.
I'd vote for him.
That's my president. So tune in. Next time we're going to kick off our presidential series. We're going to talk about some movies that involve U.S. presidents.
Are we doing the presidential
Are we doing
series?
Michael Douglas?
We're going to do some Michael Douglas for that. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, great movies. Only Drunker. We got Taylor Owens, Sean Jordan,
Hey.
Travis Budd,
I'm looking up nudity. Yeah.
and my name's Todd Wofford. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Mm.
Bye.